Hey Kathy, okay, so I've got the site updated. What I've done is I've just updated the index alternate. I haven't overwritten the index page itself yet because you can just open it up, do file, save as, and you're good to go. And what else have I done? Let's just preview it quickly in a browser. The image, I went with the image in the background. You can do a color if you want to, but the image doesn't move now, so that won't be a problem anymore. And all it was a bit of an animation effect that we applied through the index.css. Basically this one right here, we just had I've just yanked out all the CSS animation code because you don't need it now. And all it basically said was, for 60 seconds, blur it and do a slowly transition from, this point to this point, and then from 60 seconds to 120 seconds, basically reverse it and then start all over again. But long story short, we have the alternate index page. Here's the sidebar and stuff like that, and there's your team right there, and there's your call to action, and then the footer. And if I'm the one who said Expression Web is crap, I would apologize for that. I got it sounded like maybe I might have said that, but at some point in time I probably felt like that, but now I feel differently. So especially working with HTML5 and CSS3, it's a little bit more flexible, but you know what, there's no perfect editor in the world yet that I have seen. As things change for the web and new technologies come out or get improved, editors just don't keep up. Dreamweaver does the best job of trying to keep up, but it's such a convoluted and complex program. I don't recommend it for everybody. But now we have the titles. You can easily see them. Their content, at least for me, that's the left column, that's their center column. It's doing some weird stacking thing, but at least you can still edit it. And then you can see all the other bits and pieces in here. I've also made a change, and this is probably the root of why I'm doing the video, is obviously one of the things I really wanted to address in these, from Blacktop on, was doing these pictures right here, simply because it makes it a lot easier to open the library file without having to go back through the library folder and all that kind of junk. But yeah, if it was showing up, here's what was happening then, and I've made a modification to your template, which I'll probably address for all of them, but you're the only one who's actually mentioned it, so it could be, here's what happens. Let me explain, just so you know. In the site, the page loads up, and the very first thing it loads in for styles anyways, aside from the Google fonts, the first thing it loads in is the grid. That's the Bootstrap grid. And that loads in first because it lays things out on the page, so when the rest of the content loads up, it loads into place as opposed to loading all over the place and then moving into place, which would look kind of goofy. The next thing that I've changed is I've moved the helper.css, and that was loading after everything else. I've loaded that second. The reason being is the helper.css right down here at the very, very bottom. This is all the code I have down here for the the design view. So when you're looking in the design window, some things will be displayed, some things won't be. It enables us to see the picture in the design window, but not in it removes it from the actual browser. But the problem is that I guess you're experiencing is because the helper.css was loading after all the other styles, the CSS that basically removed the picture and enabled the proper display wasn't kicking in until everything else was loaded in. And that could just be a sign of a slower server, I'm guessing. But I moved it up here after the grid, so it's the second thing that loads in, and it should load in before everything else, and then you should never get that flash, because the way CSS works is it loads synchronously or asynchronously. In other words, this file loads first, then this one, then this one, then this one, then this, right? It usually doesn't load in a whole bunch at the same time, unless we do have a script in here that will tell it to do that, but that's a little bit more advanced, and that's for Google PageSpeed when you get to that point, if you ever want to address that issue. Problem with Google PageSpeed is when you load your styles in through a script, you can't actually see anything in the design window, and it looks like just regular plain old boring text, and without any alignment. So anyways, I made that change. I'm going to package it up, send it over. and you should be good to go. If you experience anything with flashing, just let me know. I'd like to examine that further because it shouldn't be happening. So